Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the zoo. The minions with me this evening are Adam.
Hello.
And, strangely enough, the one-ton hammer was able to make an appearance.
Hello.
It's a rare
And
occasion.
since it's a Friday, of course, I'm the keeper for this evening, Sanguine. How are we both doing tonight?
I'm getting a real strong echo.
Oh,
Is it coming through someone's equipment, or is it just the sound of my voice bouncing off the wall that is behind my
No, I'm hearing myself twice with a long delay.
Do you currently have the stream open on the
Um,
tab and you forgot to mute it?
I don't have any other windows open. Just us in Discord. Discord doesn't.
Yeah, maybe there's something. Let me jump out and come back.
Copy that. But yes, again, I'm the keeper for this evening, Sanguine. So, while Hammer's gone, Adam, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, well, I'm doing all right. I've been trying to get past level in Super Mario Brothers 2. Yeah, but it's been proven difficult. But other than that, everything's good. How are you doing?
I'm doing grand, and there's Hammer in the back. Let me quickly click him back in.
Oh.
Everything working off better now?
Problem solved.
Okay, fantastic.
It was me.
Was it a tab that was open with the screen?
No, but I do get this from time to time, and I'm not really sure what's going on. I use something called Voice Meter Banana,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it gets a little funky. I don't know why, but sometimes it does some weird things. So if I just back out of my browser and restart Banana and come back in, everything fixed. So
Fantastic.
yeah, not very common, but it does happen.
So I just got through the standard pleasantry of how you doing with Adam, so I'll go straight into the standard pleasantry with you. How are you doing tonight, Adam?
I am doing well. I've been sleeping more than normal, so now I'm awake more than normal. Feels kind of weird to be like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 11:35 at night.
Mm-hmm. But that's a good deal when you're able to actually get your sleep cycle in order.
Yeah, my sleep cycle's been for shit for a long time, and for it's been 30 seconds, right? Yeah, it's been 30 seconds. That to have it back in the way it's supposed to be, and like I'm awake when everyone's supposed to be awake, and I'm asleep when I'm supposed to be asleep, is kind of like a little disorienting.
Just wait until you end up with that really, truly weird moment where you wake up when you were intending to wake up without an alarm.
Oh, that never happens.
That makes you feel like something goddamn sorcerous just happened.
The Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like
speaking of Twilight Zone, I forgot that we're on the BU of the fucking
We
zoo.
We are on the BU. Yeah. We are on the backup channel. I should probably retweet. I mean, there's not many people who don't follow you guys that don't follow me as well, but
well, for some reason, I'm subscribed and I hit the bell,
and
but
you never get the notification.
I did not get the notification. So
yeah,
yep.
Thing.
Yeah, I tried to make sure that I reach out to a couple of our known shillers for us when the stream is on a different channel than normal. So I hit up Keeverdam because she catches a fair number, and I hit up Assassin before the show. That way they could each get the proper link to the show tonight.
Yeah, I just put out a tweet, so.
But yeah, as I just asked you guys how you are both doing, I'm doing fairly well. And just
how you doing, Sanguine?
Thank you for that.
How you doing?
I'm doing grand. Just finished up making my dinner, which will be absolutely amazing.
You're gonna make me hungry now, aren't you?
Yep.
I absolutely am. I just finished with my first attempt at potatoes rosti. Have you ever had potatoes rosti?
I don't even know what that word is.
It's a...
Do you know what that word is, Adam? Have you ever heard that term before?
Rousty is what happens when you enter a stage and you have bagpipes playing behind you, and you go in there and you have no fear, but you go in
That's
there.
rousing rather than rousty, which
Oh.
Hey, no, that's rousing. What you mean is the female MMA boxer, right?
I was thinking
that's
of
rousy.
I was
It's
thinking
common to say
Rowdy
as well.
Rowdy Piper. But-
I just see this done on Twitter. I see this done on Twitter all the time, where they'll just constantly mistake the word for and give their own definitions. I'm like, no, it's not that. It's this.
No,
And
no,
they go,
wait,
no,
hold
it's
on,
not
but
that. It's this.
But potatoes rosti is a northern European way of doing a effectively fried potato dish. It's, you know, hash browns, of course. Everyone knows hash
Oh,
browns.
yeah.
So think a massive hash brown cooked in a good amount of fat, not deep fried, just really put some good clarified butter, or in my case, I use some rendered Mengalitsa pork fat.
It's like a huge potato pancake.
Like a huge
Ooh.
potato pancake, only it doesn't involve any egg binder or additional starch or anything like that put on it.
Oh.
So the one that I did is a potato and onion rosti.
Oh, of course. Gotta have potatoes, onions.
Yep. Fried or cooked off in some Mengalitsa pork fat that I had rendered earlier. Then made nice and crispy, and I grated over some good cheese after it came out of the...
What is a good cheese?
Yeah, good cheese or Gouda cheese?
In this case, it is a cheddar cheese that I got from the farmer's market, so from a local...
Cheddar cheese? That's kind of common for you, isn't it?
Cheddar can be delicious. It is
I'm
amazing.
not saying it can't be, but it just seems to me like you would have come up with something completely I've never heard of before.
Sometimes I like to go for the more standard cheeses, and this is one that cheddar cheese will work brilliantly with it.
Oh, it will.
Especially
Oh, it will.
since I'm going for a couple fingers of a good Irish whiskey, as well as a pint of beer with it. So
Cheddar and potatoes. I'm Irish. They're like staples of my diet. So yeah,
absolutely.
I can certainly understand. I just was assuming you come up with some cheese I've never heard of before.
Nope, just a really good cheddar cheese that's from my area. And then I'm having that with some more of that Mengalitsa pork that I mentioned when I said I rendered out some fat. And have you ever had Mengalitsa pork, Hammer?
No, I've had pork, but it's just nothing special, just regular pork.
So Mengalitsa pork is a heritage hog. So heritage hog being a special breed of pig. This one is, again, a Northern European hog. And I think this is Northern and Eastern European hog that is really known for its higher fat content for the meat. And its fat is almost buttery in taste.
Interesting.
Also renders very easily, so a lot of people... This is one of the two major hogs that's kind of called the Wagyu of pork.
Ah.
Because it has that high fat content, it has that buttery, low melting point fat in the meat, just like Wagyu. It is absolutely amazing. And again, that's something that one of my local people at the farmer's market has, which just, good goddamn, I love the fact that they have it.
Yeah, with Bidenomics, we don't really even have meat around here anymore.
Oh yeah, the meat prices have been skyrocketing.
We don't have it. I mean, you go to the meat counter, and there's almost nothing there. There's hamburger and all the other kind of, there's pork and chicken and all that kind of stuff, turkeys, small breasted turkeys, all that kind of stuff. But as far as beef, very little. I mean, just about everything else. I mean, just about every other kind of meat, just regular straight up old pork round or something like that. That kind of something you're going to throw in the oven and bake for 3 hours kind of deal. They just doesn't exist.
How much has the price increased?
11% for meat.
Ooh.
So what is the worst price increase that you've seen since Biden
It's
came
got to be
off
gas. Gas is doubled, so that's got to be the worst.
Yo, yeah, we just hit $6 a gallon.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think the worst one that I've seen is scallops. For standard scallops, which used to be like $15 a pound, it's currently $52 for a pound
Holy
of scallops.
Jeez.
Which, just good fucking God, how do you have the price of scallops go up that much? And I'm not even talking like the high-end specialty scallops. I'm talking basic bitch 14 to 16 count per pound scallops.
Yeah. Red Lobster scallops. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people just not going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So the price will have to come down. Supply and demand. They just flood the market with scallops that price. People just aren't going to buy it, and it's going to go to waste.
Yeah, they're going to have massive amount of wastage until prices come down, and it's just what the fuck, because that isn't the only thing. I saw that with scallops. Prices skyrocketed, and scallops are a type of shellfish assassin.
Mm-hmm.
Really good, especially wrap them in bacon, fry them off real quick so that they just go past translucent. Amazing.
I'm very hot and cold when it comes to fish or shellfish. Well, it doesn't really matter which ones, but I either love it or hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like scallops at all. I don't like crab. I love lobster.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the fishes. I love, haddock and, you name it, bass, doesn't matter. Just about any regular, swing. There's a difference between shellfish and regular fish, but just about anything that swims and got eyes and, it's kind of flat. Yeah, I like that deal. It's just the shellfish that I have problems with.
Mm-hmm.
Like king crab legs, I'm fine with. But when you talk about crabs where you have like 30 crabs on the table and you're breaking them apart, it doesn't smell good, doesn't taste good. I don't want to do
Not
that.
worth the effort.
It just doesn't smell good, doesn't taste good, doesn't look good. It's like oysters. No, never oysters. Sorry.
What? You don't like oysters?
There's one main way that I absolutely fucking love oysters, and that's if you ever go to Nolans, there's a place called Drago's. The Metairie location's better than the city center Nolans location, but they do charbroiled oysters.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard that before.
It's in this kind of buttery, herbaceous, garlicky sauce cooked into the oysters as well, with this gratin. I'm not exactly sure everything that goes into the gratin right on top. And you just pop that out of the shell, pop it into your mouth, grab a hunk of crusty bread, wipe out the shell, and it is fucking amazing.
That's it. We're going to have to go to New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, Metairie location, not the city center location, because the Metairie was its original location, and they have the best goddamn food. Good God. It's amazing. And they do everything really good at Drago's. They do seafood, they do steaks, they do pork, just everything. Fantastic.
But yeah, being with an Irish Welsh background, I'm just all about meat and potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean the other foods aren't great. I've met a pizza I didn't like.
Yeah, it's just meat and potatoes is good old comfort.
Yo,
Yeah.
I've met a pizza I didn't like. Out
Which
in the West
sort?
Coast. It was
Wait a minute. You're in like one of the best places for pizza ever. How can you?
No.
You have your own style.
Out in Olympia, Washington, Seattle style, they put cheddar cheese. They put like weird like cheeses on their pizza. It was like a weird. I can't remember what it was. but it was it's just like it was such an off-putting taste to it. It was like, what the hell are you guys doing? But it is the West Coast, so.
Well, there's a place in Washington D.C. called Lido's Pizza, and they use cheddar
Lido's.
they use cheddar and provolone for their cheeses.
Which works amazing for. They have a barbecue chicken pizza.
Yeah, it's a strong taste, but it's a good. I think it tastes good. I it's not something I would eat every day, but it's a little strong to eat every day. But as a every once in a while, it's like, wow, this is a really cool taste.
Mm-hmm.
There's a place that's not far from me called Joe's Grotto Pizza. They import their cheeses from Italy. They import their sauce from Italy.
Damn, that's
there's stoves. There's stoves that are in the shops. Were imported from Italy. The only thing they make here is the dough.
Like the money dough,
going all out.
And I'll tell you, the pizza is like nothing you've ever tasted.
Mm-hmm.
You would melt in your seat. I can only, because it's not far from here. It's common for me to order from them. It's kind of a long way to deliver, but they're the closest pizza place to me, and so it's very common for we're gonna have pizza. Let's get Joe's, kind of deal. And it's not like there isn't a Domino's or a Pizza. They're all around here too, but they're further away, and they still deliver to us. But we always, let's get it now. Let's get Joe's. After a while, having their unique taste, the 3 cheese blend that they use. After a while it gets like, I know that tastes a little too well. I need to eat something different, but it's not that I don't like it. It's just like Lido's, you can't do it every day. You got to have something else every once in a while, because it's just too distinct of a taste.
Yeah, you have to almost ration that experience out. Oh yeah, I've been to Lido's. Like I said, their barbecue chicken pizza.
Yeah. I thought that was just in DC. Are they a franchise?
No, I went to Lido's when I lived in Northern Virginia.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know you lived in Northern Virginia.
Yes, we talked about that ages ago.
Did we? I thought that was Prospero, or maybe it was also Prospero.
No, also Prospero. Prospero lived down in the Richmond area.
Right.
I lived down in that area for a while, as well as in Northern Virginia.
So you spent time in Nova?
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that, because I lived in Nova. We could have passed each other. I still have a house. I have a house there.
Oh, nice.
In Fairfax.
Oh, that is a very expensive area. You have a very expensive house now.
It's a very expensive house. It wasn't when I bought it, but it is now.
Oh yeah, that's a
very happy.
Goddamn investment.
I'm very happy with the way that turned out, because I bought that house for $160, and there are houses in the market around me that are selling for $700.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm very happy, and I got a nice married couple living there with 2 kids, and they're very responsible people. That it's not like they're having parties every night and it's kids ruining the place. They're just very conservative, nice people. And it's a very conservative, nice area. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. But yeah, I've been in Chantilly, Sterling, Centerville.
Centerville. Oh, good God!
That's the opposite of Fairfax.
Oh, it is, but the Asian food that you get in Centerville.
Yeah, that's true.
God damn,
that is true.
I lived right across the street. At one point, I lived in Centerville for a while. I lived right across the street from the Honey Pig Korean barbecue, the Japanese French bakery, the sushi place that's right next to the Honey Pig, of course, a shabu shabu, an all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue, and like 4 or 5 other Asian restaurants of various types. All of it, good God.
Yeah.
The quality and just everything was amazing, because Centerville has just been completely flooded with Asian immigrants recently.
Yeah. Back when I was there, it was just a poor area. And I don't know if any of those restaurants were there, because I was only in Centerville for about a year. It was just after I got married, and we were trying to figure out where we were going to buy a house and all that kind of stuff. So we were like, all right, we'll just pack ourselves up and sit in Centerville for a while. Because we were renting an apartment in Fairfax, and that was just too damn expensive. So if we're gonna buy a house, we need to get out from under that. So we moved out to Centerville, which was a shit house. My car got broken into. They stole half my audio system before I caught them, and then saved up enough money. And we bought a house out in Manassas.
Mm-hmm.
And Manassas is a very, very, very nice place. It was a gorgeous house. And if you lived in Manassas, people don't know Manassas. That's where there was a huge battle back in the Civil War in Manassas, and all that stuff is all still very, touristy and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a rich area in general. And but the people who live there don't really like the name Manassas, because the two common things that people would say is they would call it my nice ass, which was kind of
call them Manassals.
Manassal was the other one. Yeah,
it
was Manassal. So it was a nice place, but it was funny how people liked living there but didn't like the name of the place very much. But yeah, there was a lot of Asian food now that I think about it.
Oh yeah, and Centerville has built up a hell of a lot after you lived there, it sounds like, because it's now one of the major areas that people working in DC and Nova end up living out in Centerville and just commuting in.
Yeah.
Because it's right there.
It depends on the it really depends on the money though, because if you're making bank, you're in the clean. So but I mean I'm pretty good with Asian food for most part. I mean, I try not to get too into the spicy stuff because I can't handle spicy stuff. Are you big into Asian food, Adam?
Well, it depends.
What do you
like? Well, because you could say I like sushi, but I'm not a big fan of Thai, right?
Yep.
So I mean, not to say I'm not a fan of Thai. I like Thai, but no, I'm, typically I'm open for any dishes. I'll try it. But so far in terms of Asian food, so far so good. I really like sushi though. I gotta
do you ever say hi to chat on your show, Sanguine?
Occasionally, yes.
You should say hi to chat, because we're on the Strems channel, and for people to follow us over here.
Oh yeah,
we should hug and kiss all these people.
We can do that now.
I'll pick one. Keywordam's mine. You guys can have the rest of the people. Oh wait a minute, there's Terry out here. Terry, I'll shake Terry's hand. Yep. No homo.
Hello,
Terry. Terry's here. Oh, no.
Terry's here. The Wednesday show.
I also saw Addy knocking about earlier, as was Costin. Thank you guys for joining us over here on our exiled channel. And I saw the question, what happened to the main channel? It turns out that either someone really wanted to find something wrong with us, or one of the AIs went a bit rogue and found a game stream, I think we found out, from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And decided that we were no good, very bad people for the jokes that we made on a game stream 5 years ago.
You didn't know, Adam?
No, I just lost at a battle. But no, I just can't believe that it was, 5 years ago?
Yep. I don't think anybody came after us. You'd have to go back that far just to find a way to get that. You don't have to go back that far. You can go back a couple of weeks and find something that we did if you really wanted to.
It's just so weird that they chose an incident 5 years ago to hit us with. Is this
a game stream?
One? Yeah.
We had a warning, and this was our first strike.
Oh.
Yeah, the fact that it was 5 years ago was also hilarious, and I'm not sure if I'm slightly disappointed that they didn't pick out the time or any of the times that it was me bantering back and forth with Inquisitor about what he has yet to finish editing.
Or, here we go again.
Or the time that I was talking to Schoolboy back ages ago.
Oh, Schoolboy, for God's sake. There's a
And he
name.
was having technical problems, and I ended up uttering the phrase, "The gays aren't good at this technology thing, are they?"
Hey, don't get us another strike now. Easy. I want to answer Keyword Dam. She said, I just lost it. Hammer, how come you replaced the 1 ton with Hammer trademark? I might have to take the trademark off because the way chat deals with it is not right. It makes it big gray letters next to my name, so it looks kind of goofy. So I might have to take that off. I don't know. But this is going to sound like a silly thing, but because I'm running the Wednesday show and the Assassin of the Gray is on our show, if you try to send me a message, you type @THE and hit tab, you'll either get me or him. And I find that to be very annoying. If I'm trying to send him a message, I can't. I end up sending it to myself. So I was like, all right, well, everyone should be calling me Hammer anyway. By this time, everybody knows who I am. There's no reason to call me formally by my full name anymore. You know, I could say Hammer and everyone knows who I am. You don't have to add the 1 ton Hammer to know that you're talking about me. I don't know anybody else on the internet, you know, within our group or extended group that has a name that's similar to mine. So we all know. If you were to say to somebody in Minions, Hammer said this, they know who you're talking about, right? They're talking about me, right? So there's no reason for me to use the full name, and it's just pain in the ass.
And I do like how Terry just turned it into a different name. Also, I imagine someone who's completely unfamiliar with you coming up and saying, "Mr. the 1 ton."
Yeah, I used to get that too. So yeah, it's fine.
I call him Mr. Hammer sometimes, but only because I'm fucking stupid. But
Terry has come up with the Nettlehammer. Theo Nettlehammer. I don't know how to pronounce it. That's cute.
Theo Nahammer.
I guess. But that's the reason why. It's just it's long. It's a little too formal at this point for my online time, and it was confusing. So I was just like, all right, we'll just drop it. Everyone knows who I am, so it's not a big deal anymore. But Costin's out there, and I always call Costin whenever I see him OG, because he was one of the original. What was it, original 6 or 7? It's me, you, Platty, Reject, Costin,
Inquisitor,
Quiz,
and Magato.
Right. So I mean, and they're like Adam was like right behind, like within a couple of weeks. Adams was out there.
Oh yeah. Adam was added in before we started streaming and before we were doing anything more than. Should we go into the deep lore of how the Minions ended up?
No.
Hold on.
It's too embarrassing. It's too embarrassing.
Hold on. No, I thought it was like a couple years in.
No, you were first generation, effectively.
Oh.
Yeah. There was 6 or 7 of us that were on the Discord server. And this is in the Discord. This was on Monkey's Discord server.
The original one.
And then Reject said, why don't we have our own? And when we moved over, that's when a lot of people joined us. But yeah, there was only like 5 or 6 of us originally on Monkey server before he closed it, and that's why we moved over. And then
we moved
a whole
over
bunch of people
before
joined.
he closed it by a fair bit because we were already streaming for like a good 2-3 years. The reason why we moved over was there were a couple people that kept on coming into the VC and just
we didn't have any control,
screwing everything up in the flow of conversation. So we went, hey, we should have a place that we could flee to.
Yeah, that's what it was. What it was. We didn't have any control on Monkey server. I mean, it was, I think, what was it, Fingers McGee that started it? We're going too far into lore. We're going to bore people out in chat. But I think it was Fingers McGee who, he was what was he, a white nationalist or something like that? And he had a problem with Magato. Yeah, this is back in the day, Adam. This is back before.
Yeah, I kept spurging out at Magato, and then there were like 2 or 3 others that kept on giving shit to Zelthor as well.
Right. That was a huge thing too. I would get real pissed because Zelthor was a cool dude, but he was a young guy and he didn't have the tools necessary to defend himself. So I would always jump in and do that. And it used to really piss me off because why would you? Of all the people out there, Zelthor is like just a regular old nice guy. He's funny, you know, and a little dark, but I mean, he's not. He doesn't have a malicious bone in his body. And people would go after him. I was like, you know, dude, you're an asshole for going after him. I got really upset. You can even hear it in my voice now. You know, Zelthor is quite capable of taking care of himself now, and I have no reason to defend him. But it still angers me what happened in the past. I just don't see why people would just be that cruel.
Yeah.
I never had to worry about Eve or Platy or anybody like that. They have no problems taking care of themselves. But I always felt bad for Zelthor. He's a good kid. He's you know, not a kid I guess anymore, but he's just a good guy. So.
And then there were just people that would join into the VC just for the sake of shitting up the conversation.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't actually say anything. They wouldn't argue with anyone. They would just blare music or shit like that.
Yeah, we had that.
So we just
the good old days.
Yeah, let's make a place where we're a bit more selective, at least to start.
Yeah, because that's what it was. We would start on Monkey's server, and if somebody got to be shitty, we would move over to our server. I remember that now. Everybody would just suddenly disappear.
Yep.
And we all get it. That's pretty funny.
And then as time went on, we started going, you know, these conversations that we have are actually kind of interesting.
That's Reject's fault.
Should we record this shit?
That's Reject's fault. We don't need to continue down this discussion. So, how's the weather?
But
as he attempts to change the subject matter.
Shall we go from the deep lore of the foundation of the minions to the what the fuck's going on with the world part of the show?
Oh man. Did you see the January 6th stuff?
Oh, are you talking about the fact
Dog
that
and Pony
Nancy
Show?
Pelosi got a subpoena to speak at the January 6th as well because they went after I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. Begins with a B. Bannon.
Oh yeah.
And Bannon, as part of his, okay, yeah, you're going to call me in? Well, I get to call my witnesses, and I get to have you guys subpoena them. So, Nancy Pelosi and like 6 other House Democrats all got subpoenaed to speak because he wants to grill them over. So, what exactly did you say to the Capitol Police that day? What exactly did you do in this situation and that situation? What exactly did you do with this information? Since they're making it uncomfortable for him, so he wants to make it as uncomfortable for them as he possibly can. And yeah, it's a complete dog and pony show trial. Yeah. It's horseshit. And the fact that it's coming right after they had the ridiculousness of the what's the Hillary lawyer name again? I'm blanking on it. Sussman, yes.
Yeah.
After the farce that was the Sussman trial, because you guys heard about the result of that, right?
Yeah, he got off and should never have.
Yeah, he got off. He should have never gotten off. And it was 3 or 4 of the jurors in that case were all
Clinton people.
Out and out Clinton campaign donators that were still saying that the election was stolen from Hillary. There was one person that their child was on the soccer team with Sussman's child, and like 6 or 7 up, pretty much the entire fucking jury should have been kicked out because, yeah, you obviously can't be impartial on this ruling. You've either donated to the party that is ultimately being accused, or you have a personal connection to the accused parties. Should have immediately been bounced off their ass and kicked out. But
Isn't it funny? Hey, Camel, isn't it funny how saying that the election was stolen from Hillary is good, but saying that the election was stolen from Trump is we're losing our democracy?
And the thing is that this is what happens every time a Republican wins.
Yeah.
If a Republican wins, the election was stolen immediately.
Yep.
This happened during the younger Bush's first run. This happened during the younger Bush's second run, if I remember correctly. Even though he was running against goddamn John Kerry. The
only way it's not going to be stolen is if the Republicans trounce somebody where it wasn't even close. You can't steal it at that point.
I disagree. I think that the only way that they wouldn't say that it was a stolen election is if the Democrats win. I don't think it matters.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Voted for the Republicans. I think the only way that they wouldn't claim that the election was stolen, that the election was rigged, is if the Democrats win.
I mean, if the Democratic candidate got 112 electoral votes, how can they say it was stolen at that point? Because you only got 112, man. You needed 270. You only got 112. How is that even close?
They would say that it's because of voter suppression that has not existed.
Yeah, that's an awful lot of voter suppression.
Didn't Reagan win one election by like 48 states or something like that? Something ridiculous.
Yeah, he had an absolute blowout. And Assassin brings up that they were even accusing him of stealing that election.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Now, which election was that? He beat. Was that?
That was his first victory. That was
first term.
Carter.
Oh, wait. I thought that was Mondale,
Carter, wasn't it?
No, wasn't it Mondale?
Let me quickly double check.
Because for some reason I was wanting to say Dukakis, but that was Pappy Bush, wasn't it?
1984 United States presidential election. Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah.
It was held on Tuesday, November 6th. Defeated Democratic former Vice President Walter Mondale. Yeah, in a landslide, winning 525 electoral votes, and 58% of the popular vote.
Well, I mean, like, you know those memes where they got like Bush, Jeb with his arms outstretched, and it's like the whole electoral map.
Yeah, the only
that should be Reagan.
The only state that didn't go for Reagan in that election,
Mondale's home
was
state?
Minnesota.
Was that where Mondale was from?
Yeah.
I believe.
No,
so.
he was home state Minnesota. I'm looking at it right here.
Okay.
His running mate was Geraldine Ferraro. That probably contributed to it because at that point women weren't supposed to be on the ticket.
Well, were either of them any good being candidates? I mean, this was like 5 years before I was even born, so I'm not familiar with that election cycle.
Mondale was very stiff, and Reagan was very personable.
He was the Gipper.
So, yeah, I mean, he knew how to handle a camera. You know what I'm saying?
I would hope so.
And he had a very good sense of humor. He used to make fun of Gorbachev all the time. He had these jokes. He would say, if I want to, I can go into the president of the United States and slam my hand on the desk and say, Mr. President, I don't think you're doing a good job. And that would be perfectly normal in the States. And his Russian friend said, well, I can do that too. And he says, you can't do that. He says, yes, I can. I can go into the Oval Office and slam my hand on the ground and say, your presidency is a piece of shit. You know, what he was trying to say is he can't do it to his own president, but he could go and do it to the United States president. So he's agreeing. It was a big joke. I can't do it because I'm not Reagan, but that was the point of the joke. And it killed. People laugh their asses off at that kind of stuff.
One of the other phrasings for that joke is when it's told by a Russian comedian that America always thinks that it's such a great nation, that it has this freedom of speech because they're able to go up to the president and say that they're doing a terrible job and everything that they do is wrong. What's so great about that? You can do that anywhere. You can do that in the middle of Red Square in Russia. You can say that the U.S. president is doing a terrible job.
Yeah. I think back in those days, that was a killer joke. People would just like go crazy over it. And he's kind of known for doing that. It's about every speech. He hits like 3 or 4 jokes like that, just out of nowhere. And it's just, he's just that personable, affable kind of guy where everyone loved him,
And when he was on, he was goddamn on when it came to the quality of what he said and the quality of his arguments.
Yeah. Mondale was stiff. He was he's just the opposite of what you'd think. You think the Democratic candidate would be a member of the working class and the Republican would be the snob. It was really just completely the opposite. Mondale was stiff and snobby and entitled, and Reagan was happy-go-lucky, hey, how you doing? Kind of deal. So,
and it's like has been the case so many times. One of the best advocates against socialism or communism or the various iterations thereof is someone who was at one point at least on the periphery of that and then went, no, this shit, fuck this, and backed up immediately. You see this with Orson, is it? Yeah, 1984, Orson Welles, right?
Yeah.
Orson Welles was that way. Orson Welles, earlier on in his life, was part of the Socialist Party in England, if I remember correctly. And his big turning moment was when he wrote The Road to Wigan Pier, because he realized he couldn't be part of that group the moment that it dawned on him that they didn't hate the rich, or they didn't dislike the rich because of love of the poor. They hated the poor. The only thing was that they hated the rich even more. And when he did that, or when he saw that, he went, yep, I cannot be part of this group. They don't hate the inequality because of a love for the person beneath. They hate fucking everyone. They just hate the people that are more successful than them more than they hate anyone else. Which is a sentiment that is often used by Bob.
Shit, I've been muted this whole time. You mean George Orwell, right?
Yes, Orwell. Sorry.
Okay, because you were saying Orson Welles.
Orwell, yes. Orwell was
1984.
Yep. I don't
Reagan
know
was known for a lot of things. He's known for trickle-down economics, Reaganomics. He did that famous speech, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. He was notable.
You mean voodoo economics, as Pappy Bush called it?
Yeah.
Reaganomics, the whole trickle-down thing.
And the thing is that the dismissals of trickle-down economics, some of them have a little bit of teeth. Most of them are complete bullshit.
Yeah.
And the biggest issue that I have with it is they do, when you go through that, it does cause a boom in the economy. It takes a little bit of time, but it does cause a boom. The only thing that you're missing is with that element of it, you also need to decrease government spending. The problem is fucking no one wants to actually decrease government spending.
Yep, nobody has.
Because once it's, again, to quote Reagan, because he's so infinitely quotable, nothing is more permanent than a temporary government power. And that is proven true time and time again. Like, goddamn Social Security was supposed to be a temporary government intervention.
How temporary was it supposed to be?
Federal taxes was supposed to be temporary. That was just supposed to be during the war. Yep. The COVID mandates, Trudeau still has COVID mandates in place.
Hey. But just look at it recently. Look, now we got to take off our shoes as we pass through the X-ray machine as they take nude photos of us.
Oh, yeah, I remember that whole thing.
It ain't gay if it's a TSA, Adam.
Which
Look,
was also
it's
supposed to be a
slow-
temporary measure in response to 9/11.
What was happening? It's a slow. It's a slow boil. It's the, frog in the boiling pot type of thing.
How many terrorists have the TSA caught?
The TSA?
Yeah, exactly.
To my knowledge, none.
Exactly.
I mean, we'd have to ask THUR, but he's not in chat tonight.
No, they
have a lot of.
Oh wait, okay. No, wait, no. I was gonna say they caught the guy with the shoe, but no,
he was on the plane.
In the plane already.
So was the underwear bomber.
Yeah.
The what?
You don't remember? Well, Richard Reed was the shoe bomber. He was trying to light a shoe on fire to make it explode. They also had a dude who had like explosive stuff in his jockey shorts.
And that wasn't. They didn't catch him on the plane. He was on his way to the airport.
Oh, the underwear guy?
Taxi. Yeah, he blew off his bits in the taxi.
Yep.
Because he got stuck in traffic, and then the taxi driver realized something strange was going on. He got out of the taxi and locked the taxi's doors.
I bet you he didn't think that was going to happen when he got his medallion, did he?
Yep. So the underwear bomber blew off his own bits in the explosion. Harming no one else, because a taxi driver went, "This guy's kind of fucking weird," and keeps on demanding that I go quicker.
You're going to the airport, sir? Where's your luggage?
They did manage. The TSA did manage to catch a lot of terrorist shampoo bottles, though.
Oh yeah, because they went over the allotted amount.
Yeah, those terrorist shampoo bottles. Gotta watch out for those.
No,
I don't understand why you'd want to take shampoo onto a plane anyway. It's gonna explode. I mean, not like a bomb, but
well, every time I've traveled, I've taken my own necessities with me. I have my own shaver, my own shampoo, my own toothbrush, all that kind of stuff on a carry-on with me. You don't know how to do that.
See, I'm just remembering traveling when I was in college with a bunch of other college students at one point for a course, and someone completely forgot about the fluid restrictions in carry-on luggage, and they had a bottle of booze. No one wanted to waste the booze, so there was a group of us just passing the bottle around, and
oh my god!
Originally, I was not part of that group, but they reached a point where they're going, "Okay, if any of us drink this," it was like half the bottle was left. "If any of us drink this, we're going to end up in bad shape." Sanguine, here. So I was handing half the bottle and just okay.
Assassin's correcting us in chat. He said the underwear bomber was 20 minutes from landing in Detroit and tried to set off the bomb, burning himself, and passengers doused him with drinks and attacked him.
Were there two underwear bombers? Because I know
I think there were.
Was,
there was
two. There was a recent case, was it last year in England, of a jihadist trying to. He was trying to. Where was he trying to go? And he ended up like trying to go to a maternity hospital as a secondary target. And the taxi driver was like, "Okay, you want to go here. Now you decide you want to go there. This isn't adding up. This math ain't mathing." So he hopped out the car and he locked it, and that dude blew himself up.
Yeah, wasn't that in England or something?
Yeah, that one was in England. I remember there being one of them that he effectively castrated himself at high speed.
Oh shit!
Assassin's saying the other guy was last year who got locked in the taxi.
He was just transgender. That's all.
He decided to go for a rather aggressive surgery.
I don't remember what his primary target was, but traffic. I think there was some kind of parade or something. Maybe that was the original target. But the traffic was making it to where he wasn't going to get there before the boom went off. So he's like, "Hey, just drop me off over here at this maternity hospital." And the taxi's like, "How about no?"
And apparently, if you type into Google or into DuckDuckGo, "bomber blew off his own bits," there's quite a list of people.
I mean,
you got to be pretty dumb to be a terrorist in the first place. So I believe it.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's apparently incel bomber that just destroyed his love life as well. And by that, I mean he no longer has his hand.
Ooh.
I mean, how many bomb makers are missing digits and whatnot? You know.
Yep.
It's a trial and error kind of thing, and you really don't want to error.
Mm-hmm.
Now, bomb making is kind of like skydiving. If at first you don't succeed, it's not for you.
And yeah, it was the Liverpool bomber was the one that got locked in the taxi and blew up his own bits and might have died. I know that there's another one that.
Oh yeah, he definitely died.
I know that there's one that I remember reading the story of where he literally just blew off his junk.
That must have been a really small bomb.
I think that was the one on the airplane.
Yeah. The underwear bomber in Detroit. He burned himself pretty good, and then he got an ass whooping of a lifetime.
I had the same problem on the Wednesday show with Assassin in chat. He says stuff that makes me laugh. And then the people I'm talking to in the show are like, what the hell is Hammer laughing at? It's because he's making me laugh. It's your fault. He did. Yeah, he did.
We're going to have to do something about this assassin. He can't keep getting away with this.
But yeah, speaking of terroristic acts, there's also the other one that's been in the news recently of the would-be assassin.
Yeah.
Going after Supreme Court because of course he fucking would when there's so many people on a certain side of the political spectrum, shall we say, that have been saying that, you know, if you have a mental disorder and you don't really have anything to lose, you could save a bunch of people by killing these people.
Oh no! I remember that there was that guy tweeting. He was saying about, was it going after
Supreme Court justices?
Yeah, the three oldest one, like Thomas. Who's the other one? Is it Alito?
It was
Thomas Alito and somebody else, like the three oldest conservatives. And he was saying, like, also, like, if you had like a terminal illness and you didn't have much time, you know, didn't have much to lose, it's like,
go out with a bang.
Go fuck yourself, dude.
And this is something that I wish the Republicans, when it came down to, the Democrats have been saying in the actual Congress for the longest fucking time that the right is the greatest danger to the U.S. And I just wish one of the Republicans would have the balls to go, hey, just a quick question to my colleagues. How many of you were, I don't know, shot at during a baseball practice?
Oh,
there you go.
That a person in the opposing party. Also, how many of you were mobbed by a bunch of people of the opposing party with stated political aims that were threatening the life of you and your family? I don't know. Shortly after an inauguration. Oh, how many of you ended up being stabbed by someone with stated political aims that happened to live next door to you? And
yeah, there's a lot of instances, right?
Yeah, you can just go through a laundry fucking list of times that someone that is a Republican has been attacked by a Democrat or someone on the far left with stated political aims. Meanwhile, they keep on saying the right's the biggest threat to the United States. How many people in the Democratic Party can honestly say that they've been attacked by right-wingers?
Well, did you see, was it Jackie Spears on the House floor talking about how she's the only member of this body that has been a victim of gun violence? My body is riddled with bullets. And, like, I didn't see any actual members of Congress, anybody, like, Congresswoman, I'd like to introduce you to Steve Scalise.
Yeah, Scalise. Yeah. He's right.
It was all people on Twitter. It was all people on Twitter. It's like, because she had the stones to get up there and say, I'm the only person here who's been shot. It's like, are you fucking retarded? Did one of those bullets hit you in the head? I mean, we already know you were at Jonestown, so you're not that bright.
Who was the
got shot.
Who's the one who did get shot in the head?
Who
was that?
Gabby Giffords.
Gabby Gifford. And what side was she on? She was Democrat, wasn't she?
Yeah, but that was not a political targeting. That was Crazy Eyes.
Oh, she just happened to get in the way kind of deal?
No. He was literally, he did not pass the Crazy Eyes test, and I don't think he had any. He was just crazy. He didn't have a political motive. He just, went to this. She was holding an event at a grocery store, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just a meet and greet or if it was getting out the vote or something like that. But yeah, he went up there and he shot at the place. I think he had a pistol. I think he didn't do it with a rifle, if I'm not mistaken. Because this was how far back now? This was.
I don't remember. It's been a while.
It was Obama, so I'm sure. I want to say it was his second term. So between 2012 and 16.
Why did this guy go after Kavanaugh? Why didn't he go after Coney Barrett?
Because
that'd be sexist.
Kavanaugh had been accused of doing horrendous things.
He's from California, Hammer. He's got morals,
Yeah, misogyny.
They're not very.
Murder, yeah.
Yeah, misogyny trumps murder. So
that's pretty hilarious.
Okay, I just looked up the guy who did the Gifford shooting.
It's a Jared something.
It's Jared Lee Loughner.
Okay. Yeah, Crazy Eyes. Am I not? Am I right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm more concerned by there's a school logo that looks awfully similar to the Black Sun.
Whoa.
Oh, was it like in Yuma or something like that?
Here, let me just show this school logo. This is a school logo. This is not anything else.
Like a community college.
This is his school logo?
School logo. Yes, it is his community college school logo. I just have to show this and ask, does anyone else see the Black Sun in this? For those who don't, it's taking a moment.
Okay. Well, while you're pulling that up, Assassin said Crazy Eyes had a Glock with a 33 round mag, leading Dems to want to ban them.
Oh yeah, I see the sun.
Yeah.
Pima Community College. Okay.
I mean, it's not going in like a rotation around it, like the.
What the hell is that supposed to be?
But I can see it.
No clue, but it looks to me like it's eerily similar to the Black Sun.
Yeah.
Well,
and
I don't
he's
know
another
what
one.
Black Sun you're talking about. Is there some kind of logo?
So let me stop sharing this, and I'll.
What is the Black Sun logo? Is that like some kind of Nazi thing or something?
Black Sun is a Nazi/neo-Nazi occult symbol.
Oh,
is that like the Thule Society or something like that?
Yeah, the Vril Society. Or
the wannabe Kavanaugh assassin, which is Assassin the Grey said, he wanted him dead because he was going to rule in favor of the Second Amendment. So he brought a gun.
Yeah.
Smart thinking.
And a knife. So I mean, he was equal.
To show the Black Sun after showing the other symbol again, this is to show what the symbol that I just said this looked like, what the one that I'm basing it off of looks like.
And Terry's right. In 5 years, this stream is going to get a strike.
Yeah,
that's the symbol.
I've never seen it before, but I do see the similarity.
Yeah, they're very similar.
I've only seen that come up with since the whole Ukraine thing kicked off. I did not really know about it before then.
You see it a lot with
the
deeper SS type of people.
We're not going to get another community strike. No way.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. We're on the backup, dude. We don't want to. Dude, we gotta be walking on eggshells.
That's why I closed out of it quickly after showing it, so that everyone could understand what I was referencing.
What song, Assassin? I missed that.
No, we were talking about Black Hole Sun.
Oh.
Won't you come?
I prefer Spoon Man myself.
Wash away.
Yeah, the guy who did the shooting nowhere is saying that he was a right-wing extremist or anything like that. He was
just off his nut. That's all.
The only justification that anyone's giving is paranoid schizophrenia, for which he was ruled incompetent to stand trial.
He's
I
a Looney
mean,
Tune.
you look at a lot of these shooters. I mean, there may be one here or there that has some kind of political motivations. You know, like that one from Dayton, Ohio, that was a Bernie supporter that nobody
They
talked
all
about.
have they all
Yep.
have political motivations. Really, when it comes to shooting, especially mass shooters, they all have political motivations.
Yeah.
I mean, some
or
of them are
if they
just.
don't- if they
Hey.
don't, they'll make it into one.
Hey, can
Well-
I offer a wait? Can I do a little Adam Jones tinfoil hat thing?
Pop on your tinfoil hat. Let's hear it.
All right, real quick. The Buffalo shooter, apparently he shot up a dude who invented engine that worked on water.
Well, I mean,
Another one. Because
Yeah,
he's
because
like, probably like
the
third or
other guy in
fourth.
the '90s was he?
Yeah,
they
there
said he
was
was poisoned.
Yeah, there was a few of them that managed to create an
A
engine that
water
could work on water.
powered engine. Yeah.
But this recent one, he just so happened to be at the Buffalo market or the market, the grocery store for the.
Wasn't he
the
like an
Buffalo-
off-duty cop or like a security guard or something?
Yeah, he had a oh shit, because there's another one who was a ex-marine who worked on getting water from the air, like
kind of like the Hopper
Condensation?
method for nitrogen.
well, no,
Going
like
for
like
condensation.
yeah, from the condensation. And he built a few of them. He put one in what Flint, Michigan. He put one in Flint, Michigan.
Mhm.
But no, that guy, he's still alive as far as I know. But the guy who did the water engine, yeah, he was at the shooting at Buffalo. So I mean, hey, that's the tinfoil hat for your Friday evening. Was he targeted, and everybody else just sadly caught in the crossfire? We don't know.
And the thing that pisses me off about the Buffalo shooting is everyone was going, "This is clearly a white supremacist," and then they found his manifesto where he stated that he was once a avowed anarcho-communist, but
And then he became like a. Didn't he also like have a commie streak too?
Yeah.
well, that's what I'm saying. He was an avowed anarcho-communist.
How old was this
And-
kid again?
Then he revised his political position and has found that his political position is far more accurately described as authoritarian left.
Yeah. How old was the Buffalo one? Because like the Uvalde was 18, right? How old was Buffalo?
Let's look up the Buffalo shooter.
He's around the same age. I don't think he was
They're
past
talking-
like 23.
They're talking about changing the age where you can own a rifle from 18 to 21. But if you look at the average age of a mass shooter, whether it be at school or not, it's 33.
Really?
Yeah. Also, have you noticed that when Kyle used a rifle and killed 3 people,
Two.
Kyle was a bad guy. But when
Yep.
the Buffalo shooter killed a bunch of people, it was the rifle.
He killed 2 and disarmed 1. Kyle
Literally.
did.
Yeah. So I mean, details. But the point being is that when it's against your party, Kyle is doing something that's pure self-defense and it's something completely justified. Well, Kyle's a bad guy, and he used an AR-15, but yet the Buffalo shooter used an AR-15, and we're not saying about how bad the guy was. We're saying how bad the weapon is. We have to get rid of the weapon. See how that moves depending on the circumstances? It's not that the AR-15 was bad. Kyle was bad.
And he is an 18-year-old as well for the Buffalo shooting.
Yeah.
Just looked it up.
But the average age, I already did a search on this. The average age, if you add everybody up, 33.
Is that if you... So one of the
That's
things that
interesting.
really pisses me off about the stats for shootings is that they go really kind of fluid with them. Because...
I did the 4 deaths one. That's how I went by it. And I did you throw out the highest and the lowest and average the rest.
yeah,
'Cause I can only
That's
think of
the 10% trim, average the rest. But the problem that I have with a lot of the stats is that you'll hear when people report how many mass shootings there are in a year, they always use the stat that includes gang-related shootings.
Right.
When they then talk about the profile of people that commit mass shootings, they trim gang shootings out of that stat.
Yeah.
Kiva Dam says something. She says, funny how no one mentioned the Boulder, Colorado shooting from last year where 10 people died. Oh, wait, they were white, so they didn't matter.
Yep.
Actually, it wasn't necessarily the fact that they were white, the victims. It was the fact that the shooter was a Syrian.
And almost
that might have something to do with it.
Yep, and almost no one brings up the shooting that happened immediately after Uvalde, where it was the high school, I think it was high school graduation party. Did you guys all hear about that one?
The woman shot the dude.
Yep, it was at a high school graduation party. A guy flipped out, then left, came back with a gun, and started trying to shoot up the graduation party. A legal concealed carry, holder, who was a female, a black female, if I remember correctly, immediately drilled him and shooting over. Almost no one got hurt in that shooting.
Good guy with a gun.
This
no one
concealed carry holder immediately took action.
You also had that Texas church shooting where guy, he
right away.
He fired
with an AR-15.
And
that was the big part about that.
Well, no, you're thinking about the other one. So he's talking about the one where it was one of the parishioners immediately draws his sidearm as the guy comes walking into the church.
Yeah, he walks in.
He fires one shot, and then this guy immediately draws and takes him down. As when you're watching the footage from this, there's at least 4 or 5 other people that are just slower on the draw.
Yep. And this dude was just like, nope.
The one you're thinking of, Hammer. I was reading Assassin in chat. I was reading Assassin in chat. Excuse me. The one you're thinking of is the Air Force guy who was also in Texas. He was taken down by a guy who was on the street who had his rifle in his truck.
An NRA firearm instructor who had his AR in his truck.
Probably don't want to go up against him.
An NRA member has stopped more mass shootings than an NRA member has committed.
Yep. Yeah, that was like I said, NRA firearm instructor ended up seeing this happen. He immediately drew his AR-15 and took out the shooter. It was fantastic for that one as well.
We were talking about Kyle and that whole scenario. What about Waukesha? The guy driving the car was a person of color. So the I don't remember his name. And all the headlines were saying that the car killed all these people. They kept on saying the car. They would not mention his name or blame him in any way. It's always the car drove down the middle. Somebody was behind the wheel. The car didn't drive by itself.
Well, I mean, it could have been. I saw Knight Rider Hammer.
That guy also had an absolutely insane number of things that were just his screed against white people and was a black supremacist tirade. And then there was the other one that came up shortly thereafter that published his manifesto that almost no one talks about, with the exception of Nick Rekieta, who has just been reading
Unbreaded.
Yes, the Unbreaded segment is due to
on paper. Unbreaded
is due to this one absolute nut job who is again responsible for some horrendous shit.
And wasn't he a UCLA professor or something too?
Yeah, he was a.
You see, I got to read that manifesto because apparently he had some thoughts on Corey Chase, and I'm interested. I want to see what this man had to say about her.
He was a professor that published his tirade against white people, Asians, and like 2 or 3 other groups as well. His entire premise was that blacks were the superior race and that black people need to rise up and start committing acts of violence against every other racial group. in order to assert their superiority. It was absolutely insane shit. And like I said, everyone pretty much dropped that the moment that they went, oh, he's black. Oh, he has a tirade about black supremacy. Yeah, we're not going to publish anything about this. And Nick Rekieta found out about this story, so he's just been having the daily unbreaded. Because the screeds in this man's written work are fucking ridiculous. He just goes completely off and rants about the weirdest shit, which is hilarious to read, but then you remember this man fucking murdered people and was a professor, and no one had any problems with the fact that he was doing this shit and was making it very clear that he was a black supremacist. That didn't tip off anyone. Though, as we've been talking about all the really fucked up dark things that have happened recently, shall we go for a bit of a light note as to recent news?
Oh,
Okay.
you got a light note?
The one, was it the LA County DA that has
San Francisco.
San Francisco, yes. San Fran.
Chesa Boudin.
Yep,
however you say
Boudin
it.
has been
That
voted
weather
out.
underground fuck.
Yep.
First I heard the name, I thought it was a girl.
Yep.
Yeah, both
that's
of his
a
parents
problem that I've been having a lot as well.
both of his parents went to prison for murder, and he was raised by Bill Ayers.
Yep. But yeah, he has been voted out of office. He was one of the ones that was funded with the stated goal to make it impossible to actually try criminals for crimes that they committed.
He wouldn't prosecute. Like shoplifting went wild in San Francisco.
Yep.
$950 or below was free.
Yep.
Which is why like Rite Aid and a bunch of others are like, you know what? We're just gonna go ahead and close up these stores. We don't need to do business here.
Yeah.
LA County is a George Gascon.
Yes.
And he's facing a recall. They need to get, I think, like 70,000 more signatures. They've got like 500,000 already. And they need to get like 70,000 more by, I think, the first week of next month.
Mm-hmm.
Which LA County has like 20 million people in it. So, I mean, it shouldn't be too hard to find 70,000 who are like, fuck this guy.
I sure shit hope that they manage it. Because, yeah, every one of his ilk need to be kicked out on their ass. And the only part of any sort of legal proceeding that they should ever preside over is, I could understand if they went defense. If you think that people need better defense and you think that too many people are being sent to prison, go defense. Become a defense lawyer. Don't become a prosecutor and then just refuse to prosecute crimes. That isn't the right way around it. If you think people are being unjustly sent to prison, become a defense lawyer. Defend the people that you think are going to unjustly be sent to prison.
Yes, I would say that would be the best part. Although I think we're seeing a lot more of cracks in the armor, where sometimes the judicial system just is corrupt. You know,
I mean, I think what we're gonna see is the pendulum start swinging back the other way.
Start?
Well,
oh, it's already
started. It's
Yeah.
started. Yeah.
The thing of it is like you gotta be careful not to let it swing too far, because you know it's just gonna be like a tennis match that's going back and forth. If you let it, there's got to be an equilibrium found and maintained.
Yep. And the school board,
this reactionaries reacting to reactionaries is not going to end well for anybody.
Yeah.
yeah, and there's the school board that was voted out not too long ago, which was also really damn good to see. You guys heard about that, right?
Yeah. And then the Matt Walsh thing with Was a Woman, he went after
Yep.
that school board too.
Mm-hmm. And
I
he's
heard
apparently
resignations.
death threats now because of that, which
Yeah.
is absolutely ridiculous. And there's the thing that Camel was laughing at yesterday, which was the Amazing Atheist's take on what a woman is.
Oh no, see that was after the stream, so I'd have to go find that one. Yeah, because that was just a word.
What did he have to say?
I saw somebody responded to Razor Fist with a screenshot from TJ, so I'd have to go like scroll his timeline real fast. Give me 1 second.
Yep, and while he's doing that, I can give a breakdown of what it was, and then he can give the actual. So
first question though, has everybody seen it?
I have not seen the movie.
I have not
clips
seen
through different reviews. Like I saw Lawrence Southern's review.
That was a good one.
Yeah, Adam, have you seen What Is a Woman?
Which movie?
It's called What Is a Woman by Matt Walsh. It's a documentary.
Oh yeah,
You've seen it?
yeah.
Oh, okay. I have it, so if you guys want to get on Discord to see it, that can be arranged. That's not illegal.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be awesome.
So
I mean,
oh, there he is. Okay, so I didn't type it out right. Let me scroll. Yep. Yeah, I'd be willing to hang out and watch that.
it's good. You'll want to watch it. I watched it. It's good. I gave it an 8.5 or something like that on my review.
The clips I saw in the different reviews, because I think I saw hers, I saw somebody else's, and it was it was kind of funny, but it was also like, oh god, that's okay. Here it is. So TJ said, "What is a woman? A culturally malleable social designation traditionally imposed upon females at birth that can now be adopted or rejected by anyone at their own individual discretion." Next.
The problem with that, for anyone that is lagging behind at all, is that doesn't actually define what a woman is, nor does it mean...
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't tell you what someone is identifying as when they say that they're a woman, which is the big part, because that also... Even if you want to say that trans women are women, okay, you still have to be able to define what they're identifying as.
And that's the problem you'll find in Matt's documentary is that everyone on the progressive left will give you the circular argument. He even nails a guy specifically saying, "You're giving me a circular." Yeah, professor. He says, "You're giving me a circular argument," and the guy says, "Yeah, I know."
Oh,
you're a professor. What the fuck?
He originally says, "No, I'm not," and he said, "Okay, so what is a circular argument?" Well, it's an argument that references itself. Okay, so
isn't that what you're doing?
Definition, isn't that what you're doing? And that was when the guy went,
this interview's over.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just like that. At first, he I always like how they will start by asking you, well, what do you think? It's like, I'm asking you, asshole. Like, I had somebody do that with me the other day on Twitter. It was somebody posted a meme where he had the people dressed up in drag for Pride and whatnot, and it said they get a whole month, and then it showed a military plane filled with flag draped coffins, and it said they get 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, somebody responded to that, saying you must not know that May is Military Appreciation Month. I was like, I didn't fucking know it was Military Appreciation. Assassin, did you know that May is Military Appreciation Month? Because like I haven't had a chance to ask any of my IRL friends that are veterans or anything. Apparently, it was made Military Appreciation Month under Clinton in 1999. I said I have heard more about May being Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Just this in this last month,
Star Wars Appreciation Month,
than I ever heard in 23 years about it being Military Appreciation Month.
Yeah, a Star Wars Appreciation Month. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, see, Assassin, a guy who served in the military, didn't even know it was Military Appreciation Month. He said, I only knew about Armed Forces Day. And see, I didn't even think about that. I thought about Memorial Day and Veterans Day. I forgot about Armed Forces Day.
Yeah.
And the thing that drives me crazy is there's a way that you could have a workaround for trans people when it comes to how do you define a woman? Because technically, I have 2 definitions of what a woman is and 1 definition of what a female is. Because I have a definition of female, I have a definition of biological woman, and then I have a lay definition of woman.
Well, the sex argument's really easy.
Yep.
That's a win on every front. No one can ever oppose the sex argument.
Yep.
Because it's so easy to win. It's always going to be the gender argument.
Yep. And the way that I go for my difference between the biological definition of woman and then the lay definition of woman is biological, adult human female. Done, dusted. The explanation of female is in my definition of female.
Yeah.
Then for the lay definition, someone that you would assume is a biological woman. Or meets the biological definition of woman. So you could be wrong. You're just assuming that they would meet that. So if you look at someone and you're
depending on the facts that you learn by seeing them. You trust your eyes and listen to their voice, and you take all that information in and you say, okay, these are the parameters that I know of that females usually are. This is a person giving me all of these things, therefore they must be.
Yep. So with that definition, it doesn't matter if they actually do meet the biological definition of woman. What matters is, would you assume that they're a woman without them having to tell you? And if the answer is yes, like Blair White, I don't think that there's anyone that looks at Blair White and goes, dude.
Have you ever seen Blair White in person?
Yes.
She's like 4 feet tall.
Yeah. She's
the tiniest little thing. Yeah, I know. It's even saying that myself. I know that she's male. She still has her male parts. Mm-hmm. But I still can't help but think of her as a female. Here I am saying she's tiny.
Yeah.
Naturally, I don't think twice about it. It's just
that's effectively what my lay definition of woman is. If you default to she without them having to tell you, well, actually, it's she, then they're a woman. So
yeah,
if Hammer, you've probably seen this picture, and some of the others probably have. Adam definitely has the picture of Eve, Blair White, and Theron Meyer.
Eve, Blair White. Yeah, I've seen that. Eve showed me that picture. Yeah.
Yep, I was the one who ended up taking that picture for her.
Oh, there you go.
We were there, and that is an example of all three of them. The average person would default to she.
Yes.
It isn't a question. It would just be, you see Theron Meyer, she. You see Eve, she. You see Blair White, she.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. There's a picture that Sanguine took of Theron Meyer, who's trans, Eve, who's trans, and Blair, who's trans. All three of them are together in a picture. And if you were to just pick them out of a crowd, you would assume all three of them are female.
Yep. It was at MythCon.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one we went to?
Yeah, the one that we went to. Eve met Blair White and Theron Meyer and wanted to take a picture with them, so I was passing by. She had me take the picture.
That was you, Eve, Adam, and Skep, right?
Skep and Inquisitor.
And Quiz, that's right. Quiz was there.
Yep.
Yeah.
All I really remember from that whole thing is Skep saying that your hangover loaf weighed more than his Glock.
Yep.
And I really want to try that now.
Oh, yeah. Like I've said many times before, when I show up someplace, I show up like a long-forgotten avatar of a feasting deity. I show up with a box of booze and bread.
Okay. That would probably kill me.
Oh, Adam learned, don't try to keep pace with me at MythCon.
Yes.
I can't have bread, and I haven't had alcohol since I was in high school. So
I do also make additional foods when I show up someplace, because there's the 4th of July where I showed up with my box of booze and bread, and then I cooked 12 pounds of steak, like good 3 pounds of mushrooms, several pounds of potatoes, several ears of corn.
All I know is if I were ever to go to one of the meetups, I'd want to smoke out with Adam and then eat hangover bread when I get the munchies.
But yeah, the sex argument is easy to win. I've never had anybody who's challenged me ever beat me to the sex argument, because I've had the argument so many times that I know people are going to say, and I try to say, sex is binary. Well, what about intersex people? Oh, that's easy to I'll have you tell me that sex is binary. You're going to tell me that it is. I don't have to tell you. You're going to tell me. And here's how you're going to do it. You're going to say the number 2. And my question is, how many sexes are necessary for procreation?
Yep.
Well, here's a thing.
2. Thank you. Binary.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't one of the minions technically, would fall under the intersex category of, like XXX?
I think there's somebody who has a chromosomal problem. Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but I think there's somebody who does.
I could be mistaken, but I could have swore that it was Poppy. She's 3X.
It might have
chromosomes.
Been. The thing is, chromosomes.
She's a woman. She's had children.
Chromosomes are never the argument, though. A soft tissue is never the argument in any of this, because soft tissue and chromosomes, they're all malleable. If you want to definitely decide one way or another, X-ray the pelvis. That works every single time, because if the pelvis is malformed, you're not walking.
Here's the thing. There's a definition that we use in biology to determine what the female member of any species is. And it is the simplest definition. With every other species, the way that we determine the female is which one produces the egg.
But our females don't produce eggs.
Yes,
they are
do.
Born with their lifetime supply of eggs. They don't produce anything.
They produce them as they're maturing in utero. So their body produces the ovaries, and the ovaries do produce and then mature the eggs. It's just by the time that they're born, all the eggs are already produced. It's just a matter of maturation of those eggs. So the way that it goes in biology is the female of a species is the one that, barring any health complications, at the right time or in the right situation, will be able to produce eggs. The male of a species is the member of that species that, barring any health complications, at the right time and in the right manner, will be able to produce sperm. Those are the 2 ways that we go with that definition, which is why there's male seahorse give birth. The reason why we designate them as the male seahorse is because they produce the sperm.
The left is going to argue with those, though. See, the left will argue with soft tissue. You never want to go that way. You don't want to go eggs and gametes and sperm, and that's all soft tissue. They can argue with that. That's her penis that you're talking about. That, if you saw What Is a Woman, one of the professors actually says to the guy, "No, your sperm does not make you a man because it's soft tissue." You never want to go with soft tissue argument. The hard tissue is the answer to anybody who challenges you. If you say you die 100 years from now, they dig up your corpse, they look at your pelvis, that's your sex. That always wins. That you can never argue with that. That's always 100% right.
See, the thing is that I'm just going for the biological definition because that's the one that we use for every species. It does not matter the species. When we're trying to determine which frog is the female, we go, oh, this one produces eggs, it's the female. Which fish is the female? This one produces eggs, it's the female. Every single species.
The problem is it's logical and reasonable.
Hold on.
If you want to win the argument, you have to win the argument in a way that is more capable of winning the argument. And the only thing that's really capable of winning the argument outright is the skeleton. I mean, that's the answer.
And Hammer, I would agree with you, but has that been brought up in an argument?
With me, yes, every time.
The bone structure, because
with me every time. Yeah, every time I've had the argument, that's where I go, and that's when I win.
And I would say that is, I mean, there's multiple other areas that you could fucking win, but you're also dealing with people who have a slighted view on the argument. So you can tell them with the bone structure, and they'll still find a way to be like, well, sometimes.
I've never lost with that argument.
But you're arguing with people who just are not willing
I know who
to-
I'm arguing with. I'm just saying that every time I've come into somebody who's arguing with this, I bring up the pelvis, and that stops it right there.
Well,
I mean, maybe there are people who are just so far out of reality that even that won't work. But at that point, you just got to laugh at them because
I
you know,
remember
there's
having an argument with a med student, and I told Sanguine about this off air last night. I had an argument with a med student about yes, a first year medical student about was it transphobia, and they accused me of being transphobic because I asked, it's like, wouldn't it be a valid criteria, you know, if you're looking for a relationship, wouldn't it be valid to say I want to be in a relationship with somebody that I can have children with? They're like, no, that's you know, of course they said, well, what about, you know, like a woman that's had a hysterectomy? It's like, well, then I wouldn't want her, obviously, if my goal is to produce offspring, right?
right,
You would think that would make sense to somebody who's trained
reasonable,
to be a fucking doctor.
Sure.
But they're like, oh, so you just think, you know, women are incubators, huh? And they sent me a link to an article
that
about...
is one of their abilities.
They sent me a link to an article about artificial womb implantation in trans women.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
I asked, I was like, so does this artificial womb come with eggs that can be fertilized and, you know, create an embryo that's going to grow into a child? They said no. I was like, so you're pretty much turning trans women into incubators for somebody else's egg. How does that work?
That's a great turnaround.
Making them.
Yeah, that's the reason why I like the biological definition. And it will, as tech continues to advance, there will be a certain point where
I want my Lucy Liu bot, Sanguine.
All these definitions will become
finally get my Lucy Liu bot.
More malleable, just because at a certain point we're going to develop the ability to make different fully functional sexual organs. So you'll be able to make a penis with testicles that's able to produce sperm. You'll be able to make a vagina, womb, and ovaries.
Yeah, but you need more than that.
Can I just say something about the breeder type of thing? That's just, that concept is kind of alien to me, because it's like, I would imagine if you're like that, it seems so animal, but if it's like, if you're looking to start a family, that's like more of a, you love the person that you're with and you want to start a family with that person, you know, like it's, as opposed to like, oh yeah, I just want to fucking procreate. Like it just sounds,
it's a part of the equation, is what I'm saying.
Not much romance in there, is there, Adam?
I'm not saying that that's the primary objective of this relationship. I'm saying that is a factor in some people's consideration for relationships.
Yeah.
Well, they want to have kids. They want to, you know, have their own
kids.
biological children, their own biological offspring, and that's going to play into the calculus of, do I want to settle down and spend the rest of my life with this person?
Yeah. Do you want to start a family with the person? You know, but not.
Now
not
the rest
so
of
much.
that is, you know, that's a separate part of the equation as to whether or not, you know, am I attracted to this person? Do we have things in common? You know, yada yada yada. And then you get to the part of, do I want to have kids with this person?
And to respond to something that Hammer was saying, Hammer, the thing is that with both our definitions, there will be a point where we are sufficiently advanced with tech that someone will be able to reshape their body. Someone will be able to make functional.
Could you imagine somebody who's going to have surgery on their pelvis so they can pass a child?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can imagine that.
Wow.
Oh my god! This is that fucking Mars movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the fucking lady with 3 boobs, and the dude that comes out of the stomach.
Total Recall.
Yep,
oh, Total Recall. Oh shit!
Yeah.
But yeah, I can absolutely imagine that.
Open your mind.
Having a
what was his name? Sorry, Sanguine. What was that guy's name?
The little guy? Yeah.
What was his name?
Guado.
Guado. Yeah, Guado.
Oh no.
But,
Open your mind.
You know, that got me thinking. Of all the Philip K. Dick stories that have been adapted in movies,
That was one of the better ones. That and the one with Tom Cruise, the thought crime.
Minority Report.
Yeah,
My
those are
favorite
probably
one,
Philip's past
Dude.
two.
My favorite one so far is a Scanner Darkly.
It was pretty good. I don't think any of them were bad. I haven't seen a bad Philip K. Dick. I know they're all stories, so it's just how the director and the producer bring it to life. But I haven't seen a bad Philip K. Dick movie done yet.
That Scanner Darkly was it's a Richard Linklater, the director for Dazed and Confused. Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He did that one, and it's got Woody Harrelson, Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, Robert Downey Jr., Rory Cochrane. And the cool thing about that movie is they did rotoscoping. So they shot it all in live action, then they animated over it. It's even got an Alex Jones cameo in it.
No, that's I heard the name and I'm like, something stood out about it. And then once you said rotoscope, I'm like, okay, yeah, that was what it was. I got to see that one. That's
I like that one the most of the different adaptations of Philip K. Dick, because it kind of had that, with the rotoscoping, it added to like the craziness of these drug addicts and their hallucinations and everything. Whereas like Minority Report and Total Recall, which I didn't even bother watching the remake of that.
They made it.
Yeah, they made a remake with Colin Farrell and Jessica Biel.
It was literally a remake. It was exactly the same movie, just different people.
Yeah.
Wait, did they have the weird bug-eyed thing too, or no?
I don't know. I didn't watch. I was like, okay, it's Colin Farrell and Jessica Biel.
I have it, but I haven't watched it.
But Minority Report was pretty good too.
Yeah, I like that.
But shit, yeah, I gotta scan it darkly. Yeah, I gotta get that movie or watch it. Maybe since Johnny Depp is free to go from old Darky Herd, maybe I can yo ho ho copy.
You don't have to. I have the movie.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk in DMs.
I am your movie man. I have all the movies.
I'm gonna call you Blockbuster now.
More like Netflix.
Well, a one-ton hammer would absolutely bust.
Redbox. Oh wait, no.
But yeah, it's one of those things that tech will eventually make it so that people will be able to completely transition to the point where they would meet any biological definition of sex that you'd be able to come up with. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of tech. And to comment on something that Assassin of the Grey said, he said that this is 100 years off. I very much disagree. Because
immortality might be 100 years off, but not this. This is much more like 50 years of that.
And I'd say it's much closer than that. And also, I'd say even immortality, I think what we're going to end up with is we're going to hit a point where the rate of extension of life will come fast enough that there's people today that will be the first part of the immortal generation, of the one that doesn't have to worry about dying of old age. You'll still have to worry about being murdered of any other way or dying from any accident or anything like that. But I think that we will reach a point where dying of old age will become a thing of the past, and I think that there's people that are alive today that will benefit from that, just because we'll develop an approach that extends your life, let's say, to 150 years, and then another approach that extends it to 300, and then another approach that extends it to 500. And it'll just be that the people keep on catching it right at the point where they would start to have to worry, and then their life gets extended.
You heard that they have that pill out now that cures certain forms of rectal cancer.
Yes, there's
a pill, not radiation.
Yep.
Not chemo, a pill. You take it 6 times and you're cured of cancer.
Yep. The only problem is that it's a treatment that will not work, at least from what I've read. It will not work for someone that is prone to autoimmune disorders. because what it does is it dials up the sensitivity of the immune system. So the immune system is able to determine the slight variation of the cancer versus the standard cell. And that differentiation allows it to then attack the cancer.
Yeah.
Which means that if someone's prone to autoimmune disorders and their body is already sensitized to its own cells, dialing up the sensitivity could mean that it would cause an autoimmune cascade.
In that case, wouldn't the autoimmune have already picked up the cancer?
It depends. It could have, or it could just trigger an autoimmune issue. Like I was saying, it depends on how great the difference is between them.
Mm-hmm.
Because it could be that someone is prone to an autoimmune, it just hasn't been triggered, and this med could trigger the autoimmune. Just like how every time that you get a vaccination, if you're prone to autoimmune, there's a chance that it will actually trigger an autoimmune.
Or SADS.
Just like how if you're prone to clots, every time that you have any sort of break in your skin, to include injection, to include just getting a standard cut or anything along those lines, it can increase the rate that you will develop a clot and throw it. There's a certain % chance that you'll throw a clot just getting a saline solution in injection, for instance. So it depends on how close you are to that line. That makes sense?
Makes sense.
Assassin saying this could create I Am Legend.
I
think it was a story that they turned into a movie with Will Smith.
Yep, it is.
They were trying to cure cancer, right?
Yep.
Or was it something else?
Yeah, they were trying to cure cancer, and they went rogue and started turning people into zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an unintended consequence. I am far less prone to believe that that is a likely future than I am to believe. There's a sci-fi series. I've geeked out about this. I don't know how many times on stream, but this will make one more. There's a science fiction author, Peter F. Hamilton, who wrote a series that's the Commonwealth trilogy. Then there's the Tales of the Fallers and Dreaming Void. They're all taking place in the same universe, just commonly known as the Commonwealth universe. The Commonwealth universe is a sci-fi universe that I could legitimately see us developing into, because it does a lot of things beautifully. One of the main things that it does is so many sci-fi series just have it, oh yeah, this problem that we're having now just disappears. No. The way that the Commonwealth universe deals with it is all of the political bullshit that we're dealing with now, there's still elements of that political bullshit going on. The thing is that we've expanded to different worlds in this universe. So a lot of the people that were going, no, we need to go socialist, well, they fucked off and made their own world. And they made it into their ideal socialist system. It collapsed, and then some of them rejoined the rest of the Commonwealth. You have people going, no, communism, and they fuck off and they make a communist world. It collapses, and then they rejoin. And every so often, another group will say, well, they just did it wrong, and they'll make their own world, and it'll fucking go tits up. And this happens with all kinds of ideologies. You have worlds that are run by dynasties. You have worlds that are run by various weird systems. One of the most interesting worlds that they talk about is a world that was dubbed Huxley's Haven. And it is taking the genetic engineering talked about in Brave New World to the nth degree. So everyone is designed for the job that they're supposed to have within that society.
Oh, like Gattaca.
Yep. And it is done to an absolutely ridiculous degree. And there's people that think that that's fucked up. There's people that think that that's a good idea. The people that think that that's a really good idea, they live on Huxley's Haven, or they contribute to Huxley's Haven. The people that think that it's a horrendous idea, they want nothing to do with Huxley's Haven. Or there's one instance where a bunch of people that thought that this was the worst thing to ever happen to humanity kidnapped a bunch of designer children from Huxley's Haven and tried to raise them as something other than what they were designed to be, as proof that, see, it's really nurture that matters more than nature. And it goes into what happened to those kidnapped children and to the people that kidnapped them. But it's a fascinating universe that feels real because there's still these disagreements. There's still people going at each other over this shit. It didn't just suddenly disappear, but the tech has advanced and it has caused some new problems. It has allowed some old problems to get sorted, but a good chunk of them are still floating around and we're dealing with them, which made it feel far more realistic.
Well, Jesus.
I highly recommend the Commonwealth series to anyone who likes sci-fi. And it has some really cool shit, like...
Do they have it on audio tape?
Yeah, they have audiobooks of the Commonwealth series. You can find it on Audible, and the person that reads it is fantastic. Really good voice for it.
So I found something I think is kind of funny. It's a bit old story, but somebody was asking online, it's like, have we had the great remote work catfishing story yet? Is there like a 12-year-old who's made middle management at a Fortune 500 company pretending to be their dad? And so they somebody linked this article from Deadspin from 2017. Teen girl poses for 8 years as married man to write about baseball and harass women.
Nice.
Uh-oh.
Oh. For the last 8 years, baseball fan turned writer Becca Schultz has presented herself online as Ryan Schultz, a false identity she assumed when she was 13 years old, duping and harassing women on Twitter along the way.
Very nice.
I want to meet this girl. This is hilarious.
A right proper entrepreneur, that right?
Where were her parents at with all this? They didn't know?
Let's see. A woman named Erin tweeted a series of screenshots announcing that Schultz is not actually Ryan, a married father of two studying to become a pharmacist. Instead, Schultz is a 21-year-old college student in the Midwest whose entire career as an aspiring baseball writer has been under a fraudulent byline. Schultz began contributing to Baseball Prospectus's local White Sox blog at the end of the 2016 season and wrote for BP Southside and BP Wrigleyville through the 2017 season. Additionally, Schultz wrote for the SB Nation sabermetrics site Beyond the Box Score through 2017. People who knew Ryan Schultz online say that in retrospect, some of his behavior seemed odd, but no one expected this moody White Sox fan from Missouri would actually be a teenage girl.
It's amazing.
Schultz's fraud was as true to the catfish genre as can be. She told the people who discovered she was not who she said she was that she assumed the identity because she felt as if she couldn't write about baseball professionally as a woman, especially at the age of 13. I don't think it's the woman part, dear. I think it's the 13 that was the real hang-up for most folks.
And I'm willing to bet the people that like her shit are still hoping that she continues to write.
And harass women.
That goes without saying. If she's going to continue to write, the harassing women's.
As the deception went on, she couldn't figure out how to get out of the middle of her web of lies. Over time, Ryan formed serial relationships with women who used Twitter to talk about baseball and hockey. Some women told me he would get drunk and berate them. Others told me they felt emotionally abused and manipulated because he would imply that he'd hurt himself if they didn't continue to talk to him. Ryan received nudes from at least 2 women I spoke with, one of whom said she did it because she was afraid he would hurt himself if she didn't. Okay, I want to know how old was she when she got the nudes? Because
Did someone just commit child pornography?
well, no, the teenager was the one receiving them. So
Or sorry, providing children
Yeah.
pornography.
Schultz's story is interesting for reasons far beyond its sheer shock value. It's entirely reasonable that at the time she created the Ryan persona, she might not have thought she could easily have a career writing about baseball as a woman. She's also drawn a big red arrow sign pointing towards the exploitative ecosystem of online sports writing, which created the conditions for her to get her enviable opportunities without much interrogation from editors who have a lot to do and few resources with which to do it. Most of all, though, there are real women who have been genuinely hurt by their interactions with a woman who, as she tells the story, caught herself up in a lie she didn't know how to untell. Not least because it was bringing her what she wanted. It goes on for a ways to go, but I just thought it's like, that's hilarious. I love the internet, and I also hate the internet for stuff like this.
Yep.
My reaction would probably be, "Oh, that's interesting. So, what's the over/under on the Braves?"
Yeah.
I don't care how old you are. I
Who
don't
you
care you're a
drafting
girl.
first in your fantasy league?
Right? Yeah. Let's get back to the reason you're here.
That's the thing. This
Stop, lay off on the women. Just keep it the baseball.
This seems like a story that is a big deal to people that weren't just fans of this genre of writing and this particular topic, but everyone in the topic is like, okay, so going back to sports, what do you think the White Sox's chance are?
Well, let's go back to that original question. It's like, okay, that was 5 years ago. That was 2017. You know there's got to be more than just that one girl.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they just haven't been outed yet, or maybe they weren't as successful.
I just thought of something fucking hilarious. You know the study of where does sexist goddamn, what was the phrasing? It was, where does sexist harassment come from online?
Well, in this case, it was from a teenage girl.
And it came back like 75% of what was dubbed sexist harassment was from women to women. What if what if a sizable portion of the 25% is from women pretending to be men to women?
I mean, it's the internet. What was that? Was the rule about there are no women on the internet?
Yep. But this is the exact opposite.
They're all women. There are no men. It's all women pretending to be men, harassing women.
Oh, I would find it fucking hilarious if it turned out that as we're going through, we find out that actually, if we redo that study with all the women that were pretending to be men, described as women rather than men, turns out it's like 5% from men, 95% women.
I know Jen is female because I've seen her camera image on our show, and Keywordam I think is on the same thing. She's been on face cam as well, so I could prove that claim wrong, she says. So yeah, there's plenty of women out there. I mean, it's like you're saying, Lauren Chen, Lauren Southern, Candace Owens. There's a lot of women out there.
Yeah,
I just in my mind they're just dudes with long hair. That's all.
Well, Lauren Southern
I'm
is
joking, of
legally
course,
a
Hammer.
dude.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
she
true.
is legally a dude. Yeah,
She legally is a dude. That's right.
I still love that moment. Do you guys remember that when there were the protesters outside the deplorable?
And one of them attacks her, and she says, "Well, actually, I'm a man."
Yeah, one of them
and she caves. She says, "Oh, well, I'm sorry."
Yeah, one of them is going like, I think it's really sexist that they're using you as a token. You're the only woman in the list of the guest speakers. Well, actually, I'm a man. Wait, you're a man? Yeah.
Well, I think it's really sexist they don't have any women as a list of guest speakers.
It took her a while to come up with that. It was a good long while, which was fucking hilarious. Because it was she was just like, oh my god, I misgendered you, effectively, was the thought going through her head. And then finally it grokked, and she went, wait, that means that there's no women? Which was just fucking amazing. Just watching that thought cross that person's head, or cross a person's mind, and you could see it work its way in very, very slowly.
Yeah, I remember that whole thing. It was pretty funny.
And I do love the Lauren Southern is the only man I would go full gay for. And
Well, I told Assassin there's a loophole for that one too.
yep.
I'm not a big fan of Lauren Southern, to be honest with you. A lot of guys find her attractive. There's something about her.
Cute.
It's just something about her. Just I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of blondes to begin with, and she's tall, and that's a requirement for me.
That,
Right, well,
that Matt Walsh, when she did her review for What is a Woman, she's got dark hair now.
Oh,
She's kind of like a halfway point of blonde and brown. Bit darker than
like,
Sandy.
Yeah, she's got like brown hair with some highlights or something.
yeah.
Damn it, I did it again. I was reading the chat. Sorry, Hammer. He tagged me, and I started reading that when I was trying to talk to you. You're a movie guy, so
yeah, understatement.
I'm also a fan of cinema. The Last Boy Scout. If you Bruce Willis, Damon Wayans.
Damon Wayans, right? I couldn't think of Damon's name.
Yeah,
good movie.
Tony Scott directed. Yes, good movie. You remember Bruce McGill's character, his friend Mike, the one that is banging his wife and gives him the lead to this case.
Yeah.
Mike had what he called the finger scale. You remember that? How many fingers are you willing to cut off to get with a chick?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I saw The Last Boy Scout when it came out.
I catch it periodically from time to time, and I for some reason I'm even getting like clips on YouTube recommended to me, which is funny because this is the first time I've even mentioned The Last Boy Scout. I haven't gone looking for it on YouTube or anything. She's a blonde. Okay.
Yeah, I just did a scan on my my library for the word last. I have About Last Night, A Blast from the Past, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Last Action Hero, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, The Last Airbender, The Last American Virgin, The Last Boy Scout, The Last Dragon, The Last of the Mohicans, The Last Samurai, The Last Starfighter, excellent movie, Transformers: The Last Night. Is that the correct name? And then X-Men: The Last Stand. So I have a lot of lasts on my library. Well,
I just remembered it was Bruce McGill in that movie because Nana Camel, she likes watching Rizzoli and Isles, and he's on that show. And but yeah, I thought it was funny, like the finger scale. I was like, never thought of it like that. If that's the case, like Camel's not going to be getting much. He's keeping his digits, But I was going to ask you, like, if on the finger scale, I guess Lauren wouldn't be she wouldn't register, huh?
No, I mean, I like the full size, mature, blonde woman. Like, who's the chick that's in the TV show Vikings? Catherine Winnick.
Oh, okay.
Catherine Winnick is kind of my perfect woman, to be honest with you.
Well, this is
my obligatory.
Oh, go ahead, Adam.
Well, hold on. Is it the aesthetic of the Viking lady, or is it if she were to present herself as, like, natural, regular, whatever her name is, but is it because of the Viking spot or the
it certainly doesn't help. But her most attractive to me was when she did a late night talk show, the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson. She was on there, and she wore this white dress, gold earrings, very 70s, 80s chic kind of deal. And she was just, oh my God, she was so gorgeous. She blew me
See,
away.
Took me a
Funny.
moment because you said it certainly doesn't help, and I'm going, wait, Viking doesn't help? Doesn't make sense.
Maybe I am.
Oh,
I said hurt. I thought I said hurt.
oh
Certainly doesn't
I
hurt.
thought you said help.
No, hurt.
Okay, maybe I'm looking up the wrong chick. That's
Yeah, keep her name as a link if you want to see what she looks like.
She's a very beautiful woman.
She is.
Oh yeah, I spelled it wrong. That's part of the
Where I
reason why.
where I first saw her was an episode of House, which I love. House. She was in
she's cute.
an episode of House called One Day, One Room, where she played a rape victim.
Oh yeah, I remember that episode. Okay.
And man, the acting balls. On
That
this
was
chick,
the
I was
one.
like,
That was the one where House was. He was substituting his father for his grandmother,
Right.
telling her about his abuse,
right.
and
Yeah.
she called him out on it. She sussed it out that he was lying to her.
Yep. Yeah, it was a great episode. Her acting on it was just. I've watched every episode of House many times actually, and she stood out. She has a look.
She kind of reminds me of Allie Larder.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
definitely a resemblance. Yeah, and
Well, I mean,
Allie's
since we're
definitely high on my list too.
sitting here objectifying women, this is my obligatory.
Hold
Obligatory.
on. We're
disclaimer
not
that-
sitting here objectifying women. It's not like a slave trade market.
Well, no. This is my
Well,
objective.
I'm okay with it.
This is my obligatory disclaimer, since Terry's in chat, that I am not Jack Cochran. So
Well, he only objectifies Asian women.
exactly.
Hammer,
Jack,
Hammer. Listen, dude. Hate Camel is not a minion. It's Sanguine, myself, and yourself.
I'm a minion.
No,
He's
look
a
at-
minion.
we
He's
gotta-
not a broadcaster, but he's a
This dude-
minion.
this dude
I'm
sitting
just not.
here
I'm just not a
like-
host.
He's been voted as temporary minion status.
Let me plop over here some women, and we're not gonna.
So I just because
All right, hey, you know what?
Terry
Hold on,
Camel
hold
lies
on.
again.
Well, if that's the case, then in terms of of Clan Veggie the First, I wash my hands.
Well, I just want
That's
to say,
okay.
like, Jack, he likes his Asians petite with a thigh gap and a rib cage that doubles as a xylophone.
Yeah.
I like those thick Amazonian chicks that can give me death by snoo snoo. We are not the same.
You've been watching MXR plays.
It does not reflect. It does not reflect the whatever of Adam.
Okay.
Adam disavows.
Adam disavows. We got you. But the only reason I have a specific type like that, and I wasn't aware she was 5'6", because she stood up next to what's his face, Craig Ferguson, and she did not look 5'6" next to him. He's a tall guy, and she was right there with him. But
what kind of heels is she wearing?
I'm yeah, maybe that was it. I'm 6'3". I can't handle a short person. I just can't. It's uncomfortable for me to have my girlfriend come up to my underarms. That's just it makes me. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I need a tall girl. If you're 5, I wouldn't date anybody less than 5'7", which is a big number, And my girlfriend, she'll tell you she's 5'9". My current girlfriend's kind of 5'10"-ish. She's 5'9.5". So I always date tall women because I like a woman to be close to eye level for me, as close as possible. I don't want to be taller than me, but
see, when I was in high school, like I was like 6'1". My girlfriend in high school was 5'11".
there you go.
And well, I mean, that it was fun and everything. Only problem I realized was like this bitch could run off with like all of my clothes, even my shoes. And I'm a size 12. Like she was running off with my jeans, my t-shirts, like a pair of my Chucks. I was like, no, you got to give that shit back.
See, for me,
I lost half my wardrobe when she went off to college.
For me, it is all about proportionality. There's a wide range of people that I will be going, oh, fuck yes, about. But It doesn't matter if they're substantially shorter than me or if they're a goddamn giantess. If I see a giantess, I'll climb the fucking tree and sire a line of ever more giant dwarves. If they're shorter than me, ever more dwarven dwarves. I don't give a fuck with that. But it's just one of those things that it has to be proportional. I can deal with people that are rather slight in build. I can deal with people that have curves as long as they're in the proper places, which means not the midsection. I'm just getting sick and tired of all the people that say, I'm curvy, you're a sphere, there's a difference.
I'm in shape. Yes, technically
You have to
round is a shape, but that's not what we mean.
You have to understand that women have all these same things that we're talking about here.
Oh,
you get a bunch of women together and they're all talking about exactly the same thing. So I'm not objectifying women in a degrading manner any more than they would talk about guys. So I don't have a problem expressing to people my preferences. If you want to call it objectification, then fine. But it's just what I prefer in a woman physically.
Yeah.
And again, that's only part of the equation. The physical part is only part of the equation. I don't think any of us would be sitting here like, if you don't meet these physical standards, it's an automatic no. There's other stuff going into it.
The only requirement that I have as far as physical standard is I have to find you attractive, because if you're looking to start a relationship with someone, you at least have to start with finding each other physically attractive.
It certainly helps.
Continue on from there.
It certainly helps. I've had girls who are not, I wasn't immediately attracted to. Kind of, I got to know them, be friends, spend time with them, and feelings came later. And it didn't really matter. I mean, they're not gorgons. I'm not saying that they were hard.
Yep.
I'm just saying that they weren't immediately like, oh my God. And long-term relationships, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. In my opinion, for the most part, you kind of need that attraction to each other. And then everything else determines the longevity. The attraction's the start, though.
Yeah. It certainly helps. There's certainly girls that I've seen like, oh my God, I have to date this woman. That went that way. But I mean, there's certainly been long-term relationships with me. Most of my relationships have been long-term, where it's just really been, it takes a little time. I don't necessarily see the connection right away. I think it really starts to catch me when I see the same values. That usually what makes me things that make you go yeah. But when I start saying, well, I think this, and the person says, yeah, that's the same way I feel. I think this. We seem to be agreeing on an awful lot of things here. How old are you again? It starts turning my mind to like, maybe there's somebody super compatible, even though they don't really, like I said, I have a thing. I don't really like blondes. I mean, I know Catherine is a blonde.
Yeah, it's my least favorite as well.
But in general, I just not, and it's a hair color. It's just an external preference that can be changed on a whim, but just in general, if I see 5 women in a bar and there's 1 brunette and 5 blondes, I'll go to the brunette every time. It's just a preference of mine. So,
I
it's just
prefer redhead.
And yeah, redheads
people
are
do.
top tier.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And they're uncommon.
Yep. Red hair and black hair are my 2 favorite colors.
I really don't have a preference for hair color or eye color, to be honest with you. It really, for me, it really depends on, because I've seen chicks who, they have a natural hair color, one type, and they dye it a different types. Like,
Oh shit! Hold on. Wait. I wrote a note. On this. Okay. Okay. Did you guys see the Twitter post about the lady who chopped off a tattoo?
Oh yeah. The New York Post.
I did not see that.
I could pull it up. Scribe had a response to it
That'd be good.
Yeah.
So did she hack off a tattoo of a
she skinned herself. Yeah, her ex broke her heart, so she skinned her tattoo off and mailed it to him. I think this has happened like a couple of times at this point.
I didn't read it because I'm not gonna.
One second.
Was he Van Gogh'd herself?
Yeah. But
Here,
it's
I will drop you the link in the side chat if you want to.
Copy that.
Literally the grossest thing I've heard.
Yeah, well, I mean, this chick, she's got like face tattoos, scarification, all kinds of other stuff going on. She's a winner, and this guy dodged a bullet.
Yep.
So, the story here, yeah, my ex broke my heart, so I sliced off my arm tattoo and mailed it to him. I swear I've heard this story before, but this is posted June 9th, 2022. I could have sworn like they covered this on Lords of the Night or something back in the day. Like this is not the first time something like this has happened.
wait.
I think it'd be hilarious if like this is the same bitch that she's done this twice now.
Her
Well,
name is
she's
TUES Reynolds. What kind
Yeah.
of name is TUES?
Probably one she picked herself. She's 35-year-old tattoo and body modification addict. You don't say.
she's also 9.5 fingers.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, yeah. She drastically cut off a chunk of her own arm where her then boyfriend's name was tattooed after he cheated on her. The Herefordshire, England native, thought chopping off her
Just so
limb that was
everyone can see what I
inscribed.
mean by 9.5 fingers. Going to quickly share it so that people can see what I mean, because there's probably more than just Adam confused as to what the fuck do you mean by 9.5 fingers?
Yeah, what did Oh no. Oh no. I don't know if I want to see it.
She has 9.5 fingers.
Oh.
Yeah,
What are they? She has runes too.
The length of that of the tattoos that she took off was a good 7 inches.
Is that a ring?
Mhm.
7
What color is
inches
that rope?
from her
It's
from
a
her
ring.
from just above her elbow to almost to her wrist.
yeah.
Yep.
She thought that chopping off
Oh
her
my God.
limb that was inscribed with her ex's name was quicker than lasering it off. Reynolds
Hold
then
on.
went the extra mile and mailed that piece of tattooed flesh to her ex-man. Years ago, I cut off the tattoo of my ex's name and sent it back to him in the post, she told Jam Press. So this is years ago. Okay. Maybe this is the same story and they just recycled it.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the same person. You know what?
And-
I wrote a couple of jokes about it, and I don't. This is fucked up.
And
This person
Adam, where
is-
do you see the runes, by the way?
The thing is, she's
tattoos.
pretty.
Those are
Without all the tattoos and junk on her face, she's a pretty girl.
I mean,
those are standard letters. Are there runes in one of the other pictures? Let me
I don't know. I can't.
scroll and look, because those are just that's T, probably I under the ring, M-E, F-I-E, and then
I don't get the scarring on the bridge of her nose.
Where's? Oh yeah, the face. Oh yeah. Well,
that's just
hey.
scarification.
I don't understand the point of that. Is what I'm
That's
saying.
she wants to look like a Bajoran.
Oh what?
Oh well. Hey,
Sure.
let me.
This is a Star Trek
let me.
thing?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Since we're live, let me preference. Yeah, I'm not gonna fix her. Really? That's a,
Really?
That's a good.
Oh no! Like I saw a ton of those
I-
responses. Like I can fix her. It's like
No, I can.
you go
I
right
can
ahead.
pray for
That's
her.
that's all you, brother.
I'll pray
Maybe
for
you,
her. That's the best.
maybe
I
you
can
could,
do.
maybe you couldn't, but I wouldn't bother trying.
That's beyond me.
There's nothing wrong with her left arm, is there? Because that picture just kind of shows her like looks like she's one-armed.
I can only see that there was the cut of the tattoo off one arm. Doesn't look like there
Yeah,
was
but if
any
you-
mention of anything else.
Well,
If you,
in the
if you scroll
story,
down to her picture, it looks like her left arm is missing.
in the
Pull it
story,
up again and see.
well, it's not her left arm shouldn't be missing. That's the one she cut the pinky off of. But he had been a naughty boy and cheated on me, so obviously I wasn't going to keep his name on me anymore. She continued. I opted to cut it out purely because I had already done skin removal before. I knew it didn't hurt that much, and it's much quicker than laser sessions, which is a bit of a long game. So she's quite impulsive.
And Hammer, I just pulled up the picture again to look at it. I don't have it shared, but her left or her other arm is still there. The thing is that it is so heavily tattooed, it's blending in with the absolutely hideous rug beneath her.
Wow.
I gotta say though, she's one of those ride or die type of ladies. You know, you get her as long as you treat her right, she'd be fucking.
Well,
She's
first of
the
all,
Adrian Wall for you.
I any relationship I had, if they came home and said, "Hey, guess what? I got a new tattoo," and it was like my name or anything like that, it's like, okay, so this relationship is over.
See,
Yeah,
I'm
really.
more worried about she was willing to chop off the tip of her pinky. What other tips is she willing to chop off?
You want a toe? I'll get you a toe.
I'm thinking he's alluding to a more Lorena Bobbitt style
Yeah,
chopping off.
Oh, whoa. There's a difference between a toe and the
If she's willing to cut off her finger, she's probably willing. If she's gonna cut off one of her appendages, she's probably willing to cut off one of yours, Adam.
yep.
Why mine specifically?
Well, you specifically in this scenario would be the lover that jilted her and caused her to cut pieces of herself off.
And as meaty as my fingers are, going for it wasn't Bobbin, it was the other guy who had his chopped off that
There was
ended
another
up
guy.
getting. Oh, there have been like 6 or 7 of them throughout the news at various points. One of them, it was penis got chopped off, was thrown out the window. The police came. They were able to find his penis. They were able to find him. He got it reattached. She got released immediately after getting taken in. She went to the hospital room, chopped off his penis a second time, threw it out the window, and that time it got ate by a dog. So he had.
I don't know if this
finger.
is supposed to be like a happy ending type of scenario or.
He ended up getting his middle finger cut off and swapped.
Oh, okay. The fuck? Sanguine, you are horrible at storytelling.
I started off with the premise of finger replacing dick. He thought that he was confused that there was more than one that got bobbited, and I explained, no, there were others. One of them, his dick got chopped off twice in the same fucking night.
Question.
No, I get it. The structure was okay, but you know what? The substance was just.
I have a question.
Made you hurt.
I have a question.
Oh.
If that guy gets lucky, does that count as a home run or just third base?
Oh.
I think it's just a fingering.
So third base. Okay.
Yep. But yeah, it's just one of those things that, good God damn. And like I said, my fingers are meaty as shit. I mean, we've talked about that before. I have ridiculous ring sizes. My middle fingers are size 16, for fuck's sake. They don't really make size 16s normally.
I think Sanguine's humble bragging here, folks.
I would not want that replaced. That would be a downsize.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here looking at my hands like, no.
Do you wear rings?
I wear 2 rings currently. I have a school ring, and then I have another ring that I wear.
A school ring?
Yeah.
From high school or uni?
College.
Okay.
How long has it been since you graduated?
It's been 9 years.
Wow, that's dedication.
I got used to wearing it. It has a nice heft to it. Feels good on the hand.
The only ring I ever wore was a wedding ring. That was it. And I wore that for 3 years.
See, I want to get more rings just because I like the weight of them on the hand.
Do you wear a watch?
Yep.
I don't wear a watch either.
I wear a watch, and then I have one ring that I wear right hand ring finger, and one that I currently wear left hand index.
I wear a watch, and like the only ring I've ever really worn was my mother's high school class ring, and that was just that one fits on my pinky finger, so it was like, like mob style.
Oh yeah.
Do you wear any rings or watches, Adam?
No, I hate rings. And honestly, in terms of like wrists, at most, if it's like a really light wrist, like a even at most like a hairpin or hair wrist strap or whatever. I just don't like it. It just doesn't feel good. I really do not like rings for some reason.
Assassin in chat saying, "I will never risk getting degloved."
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those injuries.
Yeah, like I never wear that ring if I'm doing something like with my hands. It's usually just like, out and about. It's not like if I'm doing any kind of work. It's like, yeah, that's going back in the jewelry box. That's not.
Yeah, my rings, when I'm at work, I take them off and clip them onto my carabiner with my keys, and then outside of work, I put them back on. But like I said, I have difficulty finding rings because the only fingers that I can consistently find rings that would fit for are my pinkies.
Mhm.
Because most places that sell rings, they go up to a 12.5. Some places will occasionally go up to a 13. The only fingers that I have that are below 12.5 are my pinkies.
Well, like for me, like I don't wear ring. I only wear that one ring on the pinky because it's like my pinkies are the only ones where my knuckles aren't swollen. I've got slim fingers, but the knuckles are kind of fat. So if I were to get a ring that could actually slide down, past the knuckle, it's gonna be loose on my finger, and that drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So like with that one, it's like, okay, I can fit that on my pinky, and it stays snug, and okay, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I like that, like old, like 1970s pimp style look with a ring on your finger.
See, eventually I want the full-blown feudal baron. Potentially monarch, just rings on the hands.
You know, I wouldn't mind having a ring or two, but it just one of those things about not being able to feel the fingers touching each other, I don't know.
That doesn't really bother me. My fingers just kind of splay normally when I'm holding them down on my side. And if my camera was working right now, I'd pop it on and show you guys what I'm about to say. Where my pinky looks like it's trying to divorce the rest of my hand on my right hand. I think I've showed you, Adam, the fact that I can bend my pinky down from the base knuckle without bending any of my other fingers.
I don't know if you showed me that, but
so for all you guys,
what'd you say? The pinky bends back.
Bend your pinky down from the base knuckle, so the bottom knuckle, without allowing any of your other fingers to cant forward. And bend it all the way down like you're making a fist.
Oh.
I see what you're saying. I can't do that either.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet none of you three can do it, and I'm also willing to bet no one in chat can do it.
Okay, so wait now. Bend it from the bottom knuckle?
The base knuckle, like you're making a fist.
Uh-huh.
But don't allow any of your other fingers to cant in.
Now, I'm just supposed to be just bending my finger. I'm not like using the other hand to bend it down or anything, right?
Not using your other hand, just with the muscles of that finger alone, flex that finger down without allowing your other fingers to cant down.
Yeah, the ring finger bends down. So.
Yep. There's a very specific reason, and you pointed out the finger that is the culprit, that none of you guys will be able to do it. The ring finger and the pinky share the flexor muscle.
Mm.
So if in a standard hand, like my left hand, I can't do it. My right hand, I can. If you bend down your pinky from that knuckle, it's that flexor muscle that controls both of them. So your ring finger will also cant in from that because it shares the same flexor. So you can bend your pinky and your ring finger down and keep your other fingers straight. But you can't bend your pinky down without bending your ring finger in. For me and my right hand, I have independently functioning muscles for that. Because while I did at one point, like every human, have one muscle that controlled both of those, I ended up splitting that muscle into two functional halves by accident.
Interesting.
So that pinky now is able to independently flex without the ring finger flexing, and vice versa. Also, that means that my pinky just kind of hangs off the side of my hand at an odd angle, so it kicks out a fair bit further than the standard person's pinky does.
Assassin says, "Why would you want to? It's not designed to do that." It's like, I think we've already established that Sanguine is a mutant.
It isn't supposed to do that. I ended up accidentally splitting the muscle, and when I say accidentally splitting the muscle, it was a two-part process. One part was playing football, and my pinky got stuck in someone's jersey.
Oof.
As I blasted them one way and then turned quickly to hit someone else. So when my pinky got stuck, my pinky went with them off to the side until eventually it was able to slip free, but that tug was enough to split the muscle.
Ow.
So I just felt this kind of burning pain in my hand for a second. I ignored it and started hitting people again. And the other main thing is when you make a fist, you can see all your knuckles, right? So you see your middle knuckle will stick out the furthest, and then you see your ring and index fingers knuckles just a little bit farther back than that, and then you see your pinky knuckle a little bit farther than that, right? I effectively have an invisible pinky knuckle because it just kind of slants off to the side straight from where my ring finger's knuckle is. It just slopes off because I also, on that hand, pounded back the bone a little bit. So that knuckle is actually sunk further back into my hand than the rest of my knuckles.
Jeez.
So, and the way I can tell that is if you grab your finger when it's bent at 90 degrees from that knuckle and you push back, you can kind of push the bone out of place a little bit and you can see where your knuckles rooted.
Why would you do that, dude?
Why would you do that?
When I do that, it's a good like half inch below my ring finger knuckle.
So what is your mutant power again? Oh yeah, you can make great food out of nothing. I forgot.
I can make fantastic food. I'm insanely durable, and I'm ridiculously strong. I got a 3-fer.
Well, it is 2.5 hours into
So
the
it
evening,
is.
and I am fading quick.
And it is time, well, it's past time for parting words. So let's go around the horn for parting words.
Hold on. Is there a way? Oh shit! There's no way. that you
Where
can-
there's a whip, there's a way.
Well, where there's a whip, there's a way.
Yeah, I knew that you would know that song.
Yeah, of course. Frank and
Yeah.
Bass. Come on, man. Come on, man. No, but I just won fucking first place bowling, Switch Sports Bowling.
Nice.
I finished at 185. Yeah.
Very nice.
There you go. I actually am pretty good at bowling. But yeah, if you want to end, I bet you're ending.
So, do you want to add anything else to those parting words, or will those serve?
Oh, are we at parting words already? Or
Yep, we're at parting words.
Oh, okay. Shit. Well, hey, thanks for letting me hang out.
Always
And
fun.
hey, I didn't fall asleep this time.
Yep,
Sorry, sir.
not a problem
but-
at all.
but you know, I always enjoy joining Friday evenings, and you know what, everybody, I love y'all, and God bless. Take care.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Camel next.
Before you criticize someone, you should walk a mile in their shoes. That way, when you criticize them, you're a mile away and you have their shoes.
Nice. Hammer.
Oh, mine's the same for a long time now. No matter where you go, there you are.
Copy that. And I'll also leave off with my old version of if you're passionate about something, make sure that you devour it. Don't let it devour you. And yes, I mean Sonic fans. And with that, have a good night, all. The zoo is closed.
Right.
Bye, everybody.